John D. Rockefeller's wealth was once greater than the GDP of 160 countries combined. His net worth was over $1 billion. He donated large sums of money when he died, yet his inheritance remained one of the largest in history. He was one of the most important people in the history of the United States. If it weren't for him, the United States would be very different from what it is today. At the time of the Revolution, he owned the main companies in the country. Have you ever imagined being rich this way? How did John D. Rockefeller get so rich? How did he become the richest person in history? Why was he so important in U.S. history? You will know all this if you watch the video until the end. So let's go. Did you know that John D. Rockefeller once owned 4 times the fortune of Bill Gates? His fortune at the time in 1937 was equivalent to 1.5% of the total economic output of the United States. A net worth of around $340 billion. 4 times as much as Bill Gates, and even twice as much as the wealth of the current richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos. A curiosity is that the Rockefeller family donates almost as much money as they earn. John Rockefeller was influenced by his mother, a very religious, Protestant woman, who encouraged him to earn money in order to always have more to donate to the church. The list of causes supported by John is huge. Baptist churches, universities, and medicinal areas were the main beneficiaries of the large fortunes donated by the businessman, who considered his wealth a gift from God, and for that reason, he should return to the most needy. John Rockefeller donated over $500 million during his lifetime. And by the year 1960, his son, John D. Rockefeller Jr. had already donated more than $1 billion to charity. These things were only possible because in 1839 in New York a boy was born named John Davison Rockefeller, one of the most important people of the oil age. The son of William Avery Rockefeller, he was a lumberjack and later a traveling salesman, claiming to be a plant doctor who sold elixir. His mother was Elza Davison. She is a devout Baptist. As his father is often absent, the couple's second child, John, was raised by his mother among 5 siblings: Lucy, William Jr., Mary, and twins Franklin and Francis. John's family used to move. John lived in Moravia as a child, and in 1851 in Oviedo, where he studied at Oviedo College. In 1853, he moved to Strongsville, Ohio, near Cleveland, where he attended Central High School. After dropping out of Central High School, John took some basic accounting courses at the Folsom School of Business. In September 1855, he began working as an office assistant in an agricultural products company. In 1859, at age 20, John Rockefeller cooperated with Maurice B. Clark to start a small hay, grain, meat, and other products business. At the time, he started making a lot of money. It was during this period that John saw the power of business and saw that he had a way with it. In 1863, realizing the commercialization potential in oil production in western Pennsylvania, Rockefeller and the Clark brothers bought an oil refinery and created Clark and Rockefeller in the industrial area of Cleveland. 2 years later, it was already the largest refinery in the region. In February 1865, Rockefeller bought shares in Clark Brothers and founded the company Rockefeller and Andrews with chemist Samuel Andrews. In 1866, his brother William Rockefeller bought an oil refinery in Cleveland and John became his partner. In 1867, Henry Flagler became an industry partner and Rockefeller, Andrews and Flagler, which was founded in 1868. The company owned 2 refineries and a marketing subsidiary in New York. The Standard Oil Company was founded in Ohio in 1870 and is comprised of John Rockefeller, William Rockefeller, Flagler, Andrews, and other partners. Standard Oil soon dominated the oil market and began buying shares in its competitors. By 1872, it controlled nearly every refinery in Cleveland. The industry has developed around 300 petroleum products. By the late 1970s, Standard had refined over 90% of the oil in the United States. John is already a millionaire. 9 people, including Rockefeller, run 41 companies. His vast empire has 20,000 wells, 4,000 kilometers of natural gas pipelines, 5,000 tanker trucks, and over 100,000 employees. In 1882, Rockefeller founded the world's first trust company, the Standard Oil Trust. Standard Oil became such a powerful monopoly that in 1890, some industrialized countries passed antitrust laws passed by the U.S. Congress. To evade justice, Rockefeller was forced to dissolve the trust and transfer its ownership to companies in other states. The boards of directors were interconnected and 9 directors controlled the operations of affiliated companies. All served as chairman of the board and became the largest shareholder. In 1899, these companies were reorganized into a holding company, Standard Oil of New Jersey, which existed until 1911, when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that it violated antitrust laws. The company was split into 34 new companies, including Indiana Standard, now part of BP, Standard California, Chevron, Standard New Jersey, now Exxon Mobil, Standard New York, Exxon Mobil, and Ohio Standard, BP. The Rockefeller Company expanded worldwide, and the shares of each company tripled in value in its early years, and Rockefeller became the country's first billionaire, with a fortune worth nearly 2% of the national economy. John Rockefeller married Laura Celestia Spellman Rockefeller. He had 4 daughters and a son, John Davison Rockefeller Jr. John Rockefeller Jr. he married twice and had 5 children, including John Davison III, the heir to the society. Nelson Aldrich Rockefeller, the second son of Rockefeller Jr. He was governor of New York from 1959 to 1973. He was vice president of the United States from 1974 to 1977 under Gerald Ford. John Rockefeller, the Klan's leader, spent much of the last 40 years of his life in Keokuk, his estate in Westchester County, New York. John Rockefeller died in Ormond Beach, Florida, on May 23, 1937, of a heart attack. He was buried at Lakeview Cemetery in Cleveland. If you liked our video, I advise you to watch another one that is now appearing on your screen. And leave a like and subscribe in gratitude for our work.